Well, welcome back to Street 237, your Edu Infotainment talk show where we educate you, inform you, and entertain you all mixed in one beautiful concoction that does you so much good. This is the platform per excellence where Cameron's arts talent and, of course, genius is being showcased. Today, we have to help those who are out there, who are in front of the cameras like myself, those who are the movers and shakers, the pace setters in the entertainment industry. The way you look is imperative, it's pertinent. In fact, it is what the Frenchman will call your fond de commerce. Yes, it's your capital. But how much capital do you have would depend on how well you brand yourself. On that note, I introduce to you the specialist for the circumstance, the savior, quote unquote, for all those artists who do not know how to go about it and make more money. Because I always say, I've got my mind on the money, money on my mind. This is Leila Kigha, the one who is definitely upholding Kara Communications. Welcome to Street 237.
Thank you for having me.
And I wouldn't stop saying this. You know, you held my hand when I had to learn this profession, and I would be forever grateful to you everywhere I meet you.
And I'm forever grateful to God for meeting you.
And I hope that I'm making you proud.
Ah, definitely you are. You are, definitely.
Oh, it's very unique.
Oh.
Your appearance itself, it speaks for itself.
Oh, really?
The little touch of Africa, the Ankara is on it.
I guess that's what branding is.
Simple but unique. Is there something you have with simplicity?
I love simplicity. I think my brand incarnates simplicity.
Kara Communication.
It's simplicity.
What does Kara mean?
Kara is a root word from the word. It's Greek, you know.
Okay.
It is the Greek word charis,
Okay.
which is grace, and Kara is shoots from that Greek word, which is Kara, which means joy. And what I'm saying is, Kara Communications, it's a life of joy. It's a life that is filled with lots of joy, and that's what personal branding does. It makes you live a fulfilled life, a life that is joyful.
It's a whole dream, it's a whole vision behind it.
It is.
Everyone wants to be joyful.
It is. Many people really want to be, but knowing how to be joyful.
And don't know how to communicate. They have to be joyful in order to communicate the joy.
That's it. You need to first of all be in order to transmit to another person.
We'll be talking on a topic that definitely caught my attention. It is the caption of your of your upcoming brand clarity session. I must say that these are sessions meetings you organize, on several occasions. I think this is the third. Is it the third or the fourth edition? And every edition of brand clarity, you pick out a point where you shed more light on, and school people on that particular aspect of branding.
Yeah.
So this time around, we'll be talking about
who your ideal client is.
Who your ideal client is.
Yes.
I like this one because this one is pure business.
Is.
It sells. And so somebody might hear it and say, maybe I'm not concerned. So who are the target audience that's on your mind? Like Kara Communication is targeting which kind of person?
Kara Communications basically targets I always say startups, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, people who are considering career change, people who are getting into the market, be it business or career-wise. We just want to help you to have your feet on the ground, to know what to expect when you're getting into this ocean called world, where you can stand out in your person and be satisfied and be able to give out what you have to people without flinching, without having to deal with or having to go under the pressure of competition and maybe feeling inappropriate at some point in time. Okay.
Now, talking about the kind of client we want to have, or who exactly our client is when it comes to business, when you've identified your client, how then will your branding help you to better serve them or to better sell your product to them?
Yeah, there is something that is said in personal branding, and it is said your client is usually the former version of you in most cases. I got into the business of personal branding not because I wanted to make money first of all per se, but because I wanted to help people live authentic lives, live a life that is true to you, and live a purposeful life. That's what first of all led me into this. And for you to live a purposeful life, what happens is there is a journey you go on. And when you undertake this journey, you begin to discover things about you. And when you get to a point where you've discovered and you finally got into a point where you make a living out of this, you're earning a living, you're living a satisfied life here. What happens is you want to help others to have the same experience like yourself. And so what you have, I always say there is the before, there is the transformation, and then there is the after. And so what happened to you during the transformation stage is what you want to help other people go through. And so your ideal client is the person who is where you were yesterday. And so that's one of the easiest way to get your ideal client. Somebody who is finding it difficult to make that transition, and you succeeded in making it, and then you want to package it and then help that person make the same transition.
So if I understand you properly, if you want to get more clients, you have to be what they are not.
If you want to get more clients, you need to be real. You need to know what their problem is.
Okay.
Yes, you need to know what the problem of your target audience is, because people have problems.
And you must have solved the problem
and you must
for them to join you in your adventure.
Because when you are able to offer a solution, when you've been able to offer a solution, or you've been able to come up with practical steps that can take people from a before to an after, people will naturally gravitate towards you because there is an experience that you communicate. The fact that you went through that phase, you know, it builds an experience in you, and when you communicate it to somebody who is going through the situation, you know exactly where the shoe pinches.
So the experience better convinces than the theory.
Yes, better convinces than the theory.
So I want to put it this way, and let me just paraphrase Dr. Sean Smith, to me, who is a great mind,
yes,
not only a minister of the gospel, but a very, very great mind.
Yes.
He said, a person with an experience, I'm taking it off the context
yes,
right now, putting it in another context, but I think it still holds. Like, a person with an experience is not at the mercy of someone with an excuse, or a person with an excuse. Like, a person with an excuse would probably be that person who does not have experience. So when you have an experience, you better understand, what you're talking about, or maybe the theory, than someone who just knows about the theory.
Yes.
And when we have that experience, then that experience permits us to be able to easily persuade and to convince or impact some other person, because we know exactly what it feels
it's all
like.
about. Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. So you're coming to talk about our impact, which is definitely related intricately with our experience.
Yes.
So now, how do you make your client know that you have all this experience? Because sometimes people do have experience, but people don't know about their experience.
Yeah.
I think that should be part of branding as well. How you communicate your experience and how the package.
Yeah, because personal branding, if I want to define it in a sentence, I'll say it's your vision of yourself and what you want to do for, what you want to take that vision for yourself and do with or communicate to another person. And so what happens is, when you have a vision of something you want to offer to people, you have a vision of something you think people need from you, that is just the part A of your personal brand. And the second part is, how do you get it to this audience, or what precisely do you want this audience to perceive you to be? And that's where the work is, and that's why many people don't want to go down that road, because it's a whole journey. It's a whole journey of soul searching. It's a journey of asking for a lot of things. You want to get feedback. You want to try things. You want to see if they work for you first, because they say you shouldn't be just a doer. You need to be an incarnation of what you preach. You need to incarnate what you preach, because your brand is your message. It's basically you. And that's why I say so much that your personal brand is your authentic, unique gift. It is what makes you you. And so when you go out and you want to pretend to be something, it's just a matter of time, and you wear out. You even forget the lie you said yesterday, and you try to say another one today. So, but when you go out in your authentic self, there is somebody who needs these values that you incarnate. And the moment you present it out there, that person gravitates to you.
Sorry, you could just go ahead. Well, let me just keep going. Sorry for interrupting
it's
you
okay.
with that gesture. What actually popped on my mind was this: the way you're talking about it, it means there's a lot of investment that has to come from the individual himself who wants to, Is there a way of learning it without probably just trying to figure it out yourself? Like, is there a way of learning it? Because if you're like identifying what makes you unique, sometimes is not easy for you to do.
Yes.
Sometimes some people might detect what
Yeah.
exactly you're made of, what exactly you're distinct in,
Yeah.
and then they tell you, hey, look at it. This is it. This is it. Sometimes it's even all about education. I mean, some parents have the duty to identify, what is making their child unique and orient them towards that sense, so that when they grow, they easily find themselves. Sometimes our education system is in such a way that we are being misled from what makes us unique and what we have the natural giftings, for, because mommy wants us to live her dream or daddy wants us to live his dream. And maybe does that have an impact on those who have difficulty in branding themselves? Is that a root cause?
I think.
And how do we learn how to brand ourselves?
What I always say is personal branding is 80% internal and 20% external. But the fact that it's 80% internal does not mean it's a kind of lone road you're going to walk on. There's so many things. For example, I'll take brand specialization. When you want to get to know what you're really good at, the first thing you're advised to do is you want to get peer feedback. You want to find out from others what they perceive you to be. What do you send out there as signals? When somebody comes in contact with you, what does it perceive you to be? That's just part of it. You need the contribution of others to get to understand the things you give out. Because at times, there are some aspects of your being, of your person, that are so natural that you neglect them. There are some things that you do so naturally that at times to you it means nothing. But when you get to people and you start asking for feedback, like, what do you think about me? When you look at me, what comes first to your mind? You're surprised that many people come up with those things, really? And you're like, really? Really? Those are the things that make you authentic. That is the experience they have of you. And so it helps you to dig deep. It helps orient your mind towards the things that come naturally to you. And so you don't focus on things that you're trying to build. Because there are some skills that you can acquire. I mean, intellectual capital. I can go to school and become a medical doctor tomorrow, but I can end up not being a passionate medical doctor. I'm not passionate about saving human lives, but I'm a doctor. I am a doctor. And so it's because I went to school and I studied to become a doctor, I have the obligation to save lives. And somebody who went to school and became a doctor out of passion to save people, to get drugs, to research and make a difference in the lives of people, make people live healthy and comfortable lives, his approach to the profession will be different from mine. I went there because I went to school and it's what's paying now. He went there because he's passionate about it. He loves it from the core. He loves to take care of people. He's passionate about people. He loves to look after people. He loves to, so that's it. So it's not only about going to school. And that's why I say you need to, first of all, dig deep. Those are the values you uphold, the things you really love, the values that you stand for. These are pointers to the things that you want to solve. These are pointers to the things you want to bring solution to in the world.
Okay. When we come back, we are going to be talking about a specific case. You just give advice to all those in the entertainment world, how to go about it. This is a domain, especially music, where there is a lot of money flow, there's a lot of cash flow, there's a lot of money to be that is set aside to be invested in that domain, but many of those protagonists do not fulfill the criteria of being, let's just say, they're not eligible for money to be invested on them because of an issue, which is branding. It's not like they don't have the talent, but the talent is not enough. So we'll probably be helping all those who are in that category in just a few sentences, and then you're going to tell us more about the upcoming program. So you're definitely listening to Leila Kigha, the CEO of Kara Communications.